It's time to go to work with Kansas City's entrepreneurs, inventors, brand builders, and business icons.
To be a successful entrepreneur, it's a very dynamic skill set. I really don't think you have to be an A+ at anything, but I think you have to be a B+ or an A- at everything.
You know, it's great to read articles, it's great to see people on TV, but when you hear their voice, when you hear their story, that's one of the things that Entrepreneur KC is trying to provide to the public.
KC SourceLink connects together a network of more than 180 organizations here in the community that support small business development. Our mission is simple: make it easy for the entrepreneur to find the resource that they need.
And what I've seen in the last 3 years, 4 years has been just amazing. The Digital Sandbox is another example of continuing to add to the ecosystem we have here to grow the entrepreneurial community.
Experience the hands-on fits and starts of innovative business building going on right here, right now, in our community. This is reality TV that works. Startups, made in Kansas City.
The Talent Recruitment Initiative is a program that helps companies within the Kansas City area talk about Kansas City when they're looking to hire a new employee. This initiative works to showcase the lifestyle of Kansas City to potential new hires and interns. It's a way to talk about the livability and the assets here in the region for someone who's looking to relocate to the Kansas City area. Young professionals are looking for a hot spot. They pick a location before they pick a company to work for. We've heard several times that companies do a great job of selling their company and their culture, but it's the talent that they need. And young professionals are going to go where other talented people are, and where they have the opportunity to really grow themselves and their business and their lives personally and professionally quickly. Kansas City is a hub for creativity and innovation. It's a hot spot for young talented people, and it's my job to help showcase that and help companies explain that to potential new employees.
And 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the Entrepreneur KC Show. I'm Sarah Davidson with my amazing co-host, Jason Grill.
Sarah, it's lovely to be here today. I'm excited about this next guest. I've been a lifelong Kansas City and grew up here and have seen a lot of the different entrepreneurship stories through my life, and started writing for different publications and really started to go to more entrepreneurial tech events in Kansas City. Came up with the idea to push an entrepreneurial show because nobody was doing it in Kansas City, and met Sarah Davidson, my co-host, and from that point on we just kind of worked it and went to all the different events, and we've had great guests on our show so far. Guys, we have Peter De Silva, the President and Chief Operating Officer of UMB Financial Corporation with us. Peter, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Jason and Sarah?
Good.
We're doing great. We really appreciate
Even better now.
Yeah, we really appreciate your time today, and we got a lot of stuff to talk about with you. You're a busy man.
We saw that there was a void in a lot of the media coverage of all the incredible activity and things that are going on in Kansas City. You know, there's a lot of new startups, all the incubators going on, and all the public and private initiatives to support entrepreneurship. And we felt like no one was really getting all of the stories on a weekly basis to really tap inside the heads of, you know, these successful entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, and all the people and organizations that help support them as well.
I did it because I didn't think the mainstream media was really covering the scene enough with entrepreneurship in Kansas City. I think there was a void, and there's a lot of great stories to tell, and Sarah and I wanted to be that voice on the Silicon Prairie for entrepreneurs. And we have 3 to 4 guests on every one of our radio shows. We have key influencers, we have startups, we have people that have come from the civic sector. We have great content, and you know, we're having to tell people we don't have enough time. You know, we're an hour show right now, and we hope to expand to a bigger show in the future.
I met Harry S. Campbell, he goes by Harry, at, I don't know, an event, or I think it was the Raise Mobile launch party a few months ago, and I would love for you to tell a little bit about what your story is and your background in
this community. Yes.
I'd be delighted to do that. I came to Kansas City in the spring of 1992, and I'm not leaving, by the way. So I'm closing in on 21 years. I love it here. I came from Procter & Gamble, and I came to work for Sprint, but in the 21 years here, I've had kind of a winding road that's been fascinating and blessed in the same way.
This show is not just focused on technology startups. We're focused on product startups. We're focused on manufacturers. We're focused on entrepreneurship as a whole. And I think that's important because sometimes we only talk about the technology entrepreneurs in this generation. We need to talk about the product manufacturers as well. There's all different types of entrepreneurs, and we try to cover all of them on our show.
I really don't think there could be a better place to be right now as an entrepreneur. To be a part of a city and building this entrepreneurial community from the ground up is really incredible, and I think that all of the public and private sectors coming together, everyone's pouring in resources, everyone's working together. A year ago, it seemed like a lot of the different entities and groups and even startups weren't talking to each other, and there wasn't a lot of a place for people to gather, and they're booming all over the place right now, and it's just a really exciting time to be here.
I think Kansas City has always been an entrepreneurial city throughout its history. I think right now is our time to really push the envelope on that, and I think there's been a lot of national coverage and media coverage about the Google Fiber initiative, and now is the time really we can't look back 10 years from now and say we should have done this, we should have done that. I think that's why there's more push right now, is because people are really excited about it. And a lot of the mainstream individuals don't even know about this stuff going on. That's kind of what we're trying to bring to the table with the Entrepreneurial KC radio show.
So I wasn't here in Kansas City back then. I've only been here for about 2 years. So what was the entrepreneurial community like when you moved to Kansas City?
Well, Kansas City has a great legacy of entrepreneurs. All the names that I know for great companies that have been started by great individuals, and many of which are still here today.
In addition to the radio show, I run a marketing firm that focuses on technology companies and also early stage startups. And then I most recently started a new company that is focused on scaling technology B2B startups through digital marketing on a revenue share basis. So really passionate about working with startups.
I went to law school, but just always really liked the small businesses in the entrepreneurial world. I also am an entrepreneur. I started a company through this, through doing all these different things myself with a couple other friends of mine, and that's been going well. That company's called SOC 101, and we've been presented at the Kauffman Foundation at 1,000,000 Cups and at Global Entrepreneurship Week, and we're really just entrenched right now. I'm entrenched in all these different communities. I think the sky is the limit, and I think the only way we really reach our full potential as a city, as an entrepreneurial city, as a technology city, and create jobs is through collaboration. And it's one of the things that maybe we've been lacking in the past with getting big projects done, but I think now we've seen that more. And I think if we're going to grow and help the economy and help create Kansas City, make it the most entrepreneurial city in the country, that collaboration is key. And that's one of the things the radio show is trying to do, is give people a different element to looking at different entrepreneurs. It's great to read articles, it's great to see people on TV, but when you hear their voice, when you hear their story, that's one of the things that Entrepreneur KC is trying to provide to the public and to the entrepreneurial community. Excited about another great show next week, Sarah. We're going to keep rocking and rolling here on the Entrepreneur KC show. So guys, you need to pay attention to us. Thursdays from 1 to 2. We'll be here every Thursday. Very excited, Sarah. So we appreciate you listening today, and we'll talk to you guys soon, guys, on the Entrepreneur KC show. Have a great day.
This is reality TV that works. Startups, made in Kansas City.
One of the things that we hear from entrepreneurs a lot is it's lonely to be at the top. And people wonder, are there other people out there that have the same issues that I have? And how can I solve the problems that I have when I don't know who to reach out to? Well, KC SourceLink provides you a nice network of people who have been in your position before and can help you meet the people and do the work that you need to do to get your business started successfully. This is the entry point for 4747 Troost, our KC SourceLink Business Resource Center. Here you can take advantage of a lot of resources, including our computers that you can walk up to and utilize the internet, maybe create a business card or a brochure, and sit down and work on your business plan. The UMKC Innovation Center is very simple. It offers services to start and grow businesses. The center has an emphasis in technology commercialization, so we can help people with businesses that start on a particular kind of technology or IP to grow those businesses, but we help a very broad range of businesses, whether you're a technology business, a Main Street business doing retail or restaurants, or a micro enterprise. Maybe you just work from home by yourself and need help supporting businesses. And we provide support and services to all of these types of businesses. And we offer referrals to a very large network of partners across the community through our KC SourceLink program to get you the right resource at the right time for your business. KC SourceLink connects together a network of more than 180 organizations here in the community that support small business development. Our mission is simple: make it easy for the entrepreneur to find the resource that they need. One of the programs that we started back in 2009 is called Whiteboard to Boardroom, and that program helps take technologies from research institutions, especially our universities, and move them into the hands of entrepreneurs who can do something with those technologies. One of our big successes is getting UMKC technology that is in the biometric space in the hands of Toby Rush, who is one of our local serial entrepreneurs, and he turned that into a company called iVerify. And we're happy to see him progress into the future with that. KC SourceLink worked so well here in Kansas City that it wasn't long before other cities came asking for help in creating their own entrepreneurial ecosystems. So we've created US SourceLink. US SourceLink connects a network of about 25 affiliates across the country that support small business development using the same techniques and methodologies that KC SourceLink uses here in Kansas City. Across the country, we have 25 affiliates of SourceLinks. We have Alaska SourceLink, Missouri SourceLink, Dallas SourceLink, and a variety of SourceLinks in between. Through this network, we connect almost 5,000 resource partners across the country that support small business development, making us America's largest resource network for entrepreneurs. We have helped over 60,000 people across this country find the help that they need to build their businesses. One of our new babies on this block is the Digital Sandbox KC project. This project started to support our technology businesses here in Kansas City and now offers support through proof of concept services and funding for new companies or existing companies to take products to the next level. We'd like to help get those products over the hump and on to helping that business grow.
I'm Jeff Shackelford, the new director of the Digital Sandbox Kansas City. I've been an entrepreneur since before time. I'm pretty much classified as an old entrepreneur, having started first in 1996, again in 2000, well before Kansas City was recognized as kind of this entrepreneurial city. And what I've seen in the last 3 years, 4 years has been just amazing. The Digital Sandbox is another example of continuing to add to the ecosystem we have here to grow the entrepreneurial community. Digital Sandbox is a proof of concept center, if you will, to help researchers take that research off the shelf from academic institutions and commercialize that and turn it into a business. Techies coming up with new technology and a new way to do things, take that from idea concept to a business. Inventors coming up with something, a better mousetrap. How do we take it from their mind and from the back of a napkin to a business? There was one small piece missing in this large ecosystem we have, that being a proof of concept environment where really you take early on ideas and concepts. It's a terrific marriage between federal funding from the Economic Development Agency, the state of Missouri's Technology Corporation, private sector funding that we have as well, which makes it so powerful that we have combined both private and public into one entity whose sole focus is to take business ideas and turn them into businesses very rapidly over the next 2 years. Yeah, the Digital Sandbox has a direct mission to take ideas and concepts to a finished business. And when I say a business, it's funded, it's in business, and it hires people, because the real driver for all of us is growing the economy in the Kansas City metropolitan area. I'm a firm believer that the growth will come from the entrepreneurial community that we've seen over the last, number of years and decades. We're not really attracting 5 and 7 and 10,000 employee companies to move here. We grow them from within. And if you look at the roots of the city, all the way back to Ewing Kauffman, who started Marion Labs, and the number of businesses that have really generated from that from that beginning. You know, those are the kinds of things that we have to create. One day we step back and say, boy, where did the 5,000 employee company come from? Well, we grew it here. Hopefully it came out of the sandbox, and then through our partners, it generated a new business that hired 3, 4, 5,000, even 100, 200 people. That's how we grow the economy and keep this city vibrant.
This is reality TV that works. Startups, made in Kansas City.
Welcome to Beta Blocks. I'm Alex Altamaria, co-founder of the program, and we are currently 10 stories beneath downtown Kansas City in the downtown underground. We have one of the coolest spaces of any business incubator or seed accelerator in the country. Come on in, let me show you around.
I am one of the investors, technically the first investor, but not the largest investor in this group of 13 people that run Beta Blocks. My job, because I don't actually have a real job, is I get to hang out with entrepreneurs on a regular basis. I can't tell you how much I've learned, and now I get to impart that knowledge back onto these people.
Wes and I have known each other since we were kids in elementary school. We began doing companies and startups and things, which meant we were mowing people's lawns, but we started that from a very young age, and we've kept in touch since then. Wes has always been absolutely passionate about business. He loves Excel and spreadsheets, and I'd always make fun of him for it. I'd always been passionate about brainstorming, creativity, science, and technology. And so it was kind of a mutualistic thing where we balanced each other out with all our endeavors. We got back together after college, and Wes said, I'm kind of working on this idea. It's like a heaven for entrepreneurs. And so we went to the whiteboard, we started brainstorming, and we created this model where we knew that we didn't want to offer another service that people paid for. If we really wanted to help entrepreneurs, we had to find a way to make a business model which can exist, which doesn't charge its main customers a dime for any of the things that it does. It took some brainstorming, but here we are a couple years later.
To be a successful entrepreneur, it's a very dynamic skill set. I really don't think you have to be an A+ at anything, but I think you have to be a B+ or an A- at everything. You have to wear a million hats. People say that the entrepreneurs have a red line right here from how they keep spinning their hats around, keep putting on different hats. So we look at all sorts of things, and honestly, we use a lot of instinct to determine what type of entrepreneurs come in here.
We're looking for passionate, dynamic, outgoing individuals who like meeting new people, who want to work together in teams. There may be a team of co-founders, and that's great, but in Beta Blocks, you're going to have to interact with all the other 9 teams in here to help solve each other's problems. You may think, what does my business have to do with someone providing a service? A lot in terms of growth and problem solving and strategy, and even more in terms of what are the opportunities that are going to come from working together. You never know what's going to happen. People come in misinformed from time to time, so they think that we write checks, and we don't. We partner with people and help them achieve the metrics that are going to either get them investment dollars or create a situation where they don't need investment dollars. People come in thinking that we are just going to build websites. That's also not what we do here. We build a community of entrepreneurs, and so the people who will fit best into our own community of entrepreneurs are who we accept.
You'd think that the idea would be, or the business itself would be what we think of as the most important, but honestly it's not. We use a metaphor from Collins, who basically says that you're supposed to invest in bus drivers, not buses. A phenomenal bus driver will figure out how to get a bus across the country. If it's a bad bus, they'll pull over, they'll get the tires changed, they'll get a new paint job, but either way they'll get from point A to point B. Whereas I could give the best bus in the world to the worst bus driver in the world, and they will find a way to quit, they will find a way to get in an accident, they will find a way to mess up that good bus. And so we don't care what the bus is, we care what the bus driver is. Because ultimately the idea is going to change so much that we want to make sure that the leader is who we're investing in.
An entrepreneur who comes to us and is accepted into our program offers us 5% non-dilutable equity in their startups. And what that means is we are a co-founder with them. So we don't view ourselves as a partner, we view ourselves as a founder. We're there with them from the start on their board of directors, helping guide the way and giving them access to all these resources in our network, just like any other founder would bring to the table. Once we grow our investments to the point where there's an IPO or acquisition, then that's when we'll get paid. We'll get 5% of that. But until then, we won't ever get a dime. because we believe in them and we believe in the long term, and we believe that Kansas City has enough incredible entrepreneurs that if we partner with all of them and help everybody, that we'll all be fine.
Paul Santulli, I'm with Invenitas.
Josh Nelson, I'm working on the Flood FM project with Paul and a handful of other people who are involved with Beta Blocks.
Lois Gillespie, and my company is called Brain Kid.
My name is Greg Ross, and I have a product called Shambibi.
My name is Nathan, and my company is called FlexPro.
My name is Kenneth Cleveland, and my startup is called GiveStrong.com.
Lauren Kimball, and my company is called MottoFit.com.
I'm Eric Miller, and this is Kevin Bradford, and we're working on a social networking app called Gossip.
My name is Lucas Tickles. I'm the founding partner of Utility Contractors Exchange.
My name is Dylan Dreiling, and I'm the founder of TeenFit. Yeah, I'm 16 years old, and this is my mom.
He had no other way to get here, so I'm here with him.
I'm also a founder and CEO.
Not 90%, not 99%, 100% of all net new jobs in the past half decade have come from small businesses and startup companies. And so in this economy, when everyone's running around scared of where they're going to get their next paycheck or wondering how their son is going to get a job after they get out of college, is really looking for startup companies and looking for new small businesses to fix the problem of the fact that there's not enough jobs. We always have looked up to these big businesses to fill that job, but they're not doing their part. And so people like Beta Blocks have to step up and start creating jobs using our own private dollars.
Beta Blocks offers a variety of products and services that aren't actually unique, but it's why and how we offer them that's unique. We offer a 6-month structured program to our entrepreneurs where we take them through everything they need to know in order to get off the ground and get going or accelerate their revenue and their growth.
Everyone talks about connecting everybody in town and about how this organization and that organization all needs to work together. But if that's true, then why is it not true that different startup communities can't work together? Why can't the Milwaukee mentors work with Kansas City investors and Kansas City investors work with St. Louis entrepreneurs? We're trying to replicate Beta Blocks in as many cities as we possibly can. That's our long-term vision. We want to make it possible that in a way that it never has been before to connect those 3 different types of people, the entrepreneurs, the mentors, and investors. So that way we can utilize the different startup communities to accomplish everything that this country needs, which is more jobs and more tax dollars.
A co-production of KCPT and Outpost Worldwide. At home in Kansas City. Production, post, content.